right, so next, folks, we're going to go to Sam Howell out of North Carolina, another quarterback playing out of the ACC conference. All right. His 2020 year, he had 348 attempts, 237 completions. He had 68.1% completion percentage. He had over 3,500 yards at 30,586 yards. He had over 10 yards on average. That means that he averaged over 10 yards a play. That's what you want to see. 30 TDs and 7 interceptions. Okay? This is beautiful. I love to see these numbers, especially in a sophomore year out of this guy. On his rushing, he had 92 attempts, 146 yards, 5 touchdowns in 12 games. That's not bad. I like this. I like what I'm seeing here. Let's go over to 2021, which is his junior season, which would be his final season at North Carolina. Okay. He had 347 attempts, 217 completions, over 3,000 yards. He averaged only 8.8 yards a play, had 24 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, 154.2 yards. 154.2 QB rating. So let's go over to his rushing. In his rushing, he had 183 attempts, 828 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns, 4.5 average. So you can say that Sam Howell also has the potential to become a two-way threat in the NFL. Okay, this is awesome. These are bigger sample sizes to me than what Malik Willis has. I just want you to understand, folks. I have no hate towards Malik Willis. I'm just looking at the stats and I'm going off what I feel. I'm pretty sure that you guys might feel the same way. You might not. Please drop a comment, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Let me know how you feel. It's all for us to get better and to come to an understanding to become better and win more pots, folks. That's what it's all about, winning more pots. Taking the wife out on trips because of all the pots we're winning, man. Vacations, presents, who knows, hideaways, getaways. Hey, whatever it is that you do. If we can do it off of this, the wife's going to love us. So we might as well get as good at it as possible because it's football, folks. So, yeah, I like Sam Howell's stats, especially his rushing stats from last year. 828 yards, 11 touchdowns, and averaging 4.5, almost 5 yards a carry. That's definitely something to be excited about. I like it. Also, in a better conference in the ACC. Folks, we gotta do the research. And from what I'm doing right now, I don't think everybody's been putting Malik Willis in another tier. You know what I mean? And I don't think Malik Willis is in another tier. I'm not saying he's not the best quarterback. They're not in the same tier, but I don't think that they're far away from each other. I don't think they're that far away from each other as everybody's making it seem. When I hear all these podcasts and all these pro day analysis and this whole combine thing, I think they're a lot closer than what people think they are. Case in point, I wouldn't be mad if you drafted any of these guys first over any of them. Like, if you went Malik Willis first, fine. If you went Kenny Pickett first, eh. If you went Matt Corral first, fine. If you went Sam Howell first, eh. But it's not such a gap that you're like, damn, you really messed up there, because it's anybody's guess. I think that landing spot's gonna matter big time when it comes to this. My rankings will probably change when the landing spots come. I'm just saying this is pre-draft, and what I got off stats and statistics from college, and what I have as sample size, this is how I feel. Like pre-draft, post-draft, I'm pretty sure things are gonna change. So now, let's go on to the next guy. So we got Desmond Ridder. This guy's been shooting up the draft boards. Tomlin went to visit this guy. Everybody went to go see this guy's pro day. He had a great combine for a quarterback. He's fast. To be honest with you, let's get into him. Desmond Ridder. He played in the American Conference. Let's go into his 2020 campaign. His 2020 campaign, he passed for 281 attempts, 186 completions, 66.2 completion percentage, 2,296 yards passing, an average of 8.2. He threw for 19 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Now, I want you to understand something, folks. His freshman year, okay? His freshman year, he had 311 attempts, 194 completions, 62.4 percentage completion percentage, 2,445 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Meaning that he did better his freshman year, okay, than he did in his sophomore year and his junior year. That's a red flag. I'm going to say that right now. That's a red flag. His senior year, he had 387 attempts, 251 completions, 64.9 completion percentage, over 3,000 yards passing at 3,334 yards. Yards per average, 8.6. He had 30 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, and he had a QB rate of 158.7. So he superseded everything his senior year. Okay, so that looks good. So his freshman year and his senior year were pretty much his shining points in college. Nothing bad to say about that. We haven't even gotten to his rushing, so let's get into his rushing. So in his rushing, his 2020 campaign, his junior year, because that's what we're doing, only doing junior year. So sometimes we'll go into freshman and sophomore if we're trying to prove a point like we just did. But yeah, he had 98 attempts, 592 yards, 12 touchdowns. That's nice. He had 6.0 average per carry. So he's definitely here showing signs of being a two-way threat, possible two-way threat in the NFL. His senior year, he had 110 attempts for 355 yards. He only averaged 3.2, and he had 6 touchdowns. So he kind of went down in the rushing his senior year, but he went up in the passing. So that's fine. But he can do both, and that's what he's proving here. And I thought I was going to see this type of sample size. You see this senior year here? This senior year of 251 completions, 387 attempts, 65, almost 65% completion percentage at 64.9, over 3,000 yards and 30 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. This is the type of production I thought I was going to see when I pulled up Malik Willis's college stats. There's something wrong here, folks. This is what I thought I was going to see at least one of the seasons. At least one. But he didn't throw over 3,000 yards in none of his seasons. And he didn't have 30 touchdowns in none of his seasons. So this is what I was talking about, folks. This is the best example I can give you. I'm not trying to hate on any other players. This is our numbers. I'm more of a field guy, but the more I do this, the more I get into numbers, and the more you have to respect the numbers because it's there. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the numbers are what, but in my opinion, I don't like numbers in some places, but this is when you want to prove points and you want to, make people understand where you're coming from. You have to pinpoint the numbers, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is what I was expecting to see from a Malik Willis in one of his, seasons at Liberty in a worse conference than everybody else to be standing alone as the number one quarterback in this draft class. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that. I can't go with the lies. I don't do that. This is Dynasty Life MIA. We bring it to you raw. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it.